we go. Cool. And recenter. It's going so great. Hello and welcome. Giving this a try. Seeing how this goes. Welcome. Hello. It's been a minute. I was at AWE all last week, the Augmented World Expo. Had a great time there. Genuinely a blast. And got to present the Onboard XR work that I've been doing. Got to meet a bunch of people that I've only met on Twitter. I didn't meet this person, but someone who I've been back and forth with on Twitter is Antonia Forester, who is responsible for the Lgbt Vr Museum, which is going to be at TRIBECA this coming week. And very kindly, she then gave me, or slipped me, a little press package of it so that I could attend in my headset. This is an Android application package, an APK, that I can download and use a program called SideQuest to basically send into the data port of the headset and kind of force it to install an application that isn't part of the Oculus store or ecosystem. But it was built and designed for use in that in this headset. I mean, this is basically just a giant Android phone, y'all. Yeah, so I have sideloaded it into my headset. I'm going to go in sight unseen. I did this 2 weeks ago for the Cannes XR Alexandria platform and walked around. I do not know whether or not there will be other people there or if there will be music. You should be able to hear what happens in world, so we'll see how that goes. And you'll see what I see in the headset. I'm going to try to not be too shaky because I know that can be nausea-inducing. Sorry about that. But the goal is just to demonstrate these experiences and this community. I'm very honored to have gotten to demo this. It's an experience I've wanted to demo for a long time, but it was only on PCVR, which I do technically now own one of back on that shelf. But I want to read the blurb because I want to promote other people's work in their own words. So this is the Lgbt Vr Museum is the world's first virtual reality museum dedicated to platforming and celebrating the stories of queer people and preserving queer personal histories. The virtual museum contains 3D scans of emotive real-life objects, from wedding shoes to a teddy bear chosen by the people in the LGBT community, accompanied by their story in their own voice. The gallery showcases 2D illustrations and artwork by queer creators all over the world. The museum received official selection at the Open City Documentary Festival, Best in Gaming finalist and Best in VR finalist at QLD-XR, which is where we won Best Immersive Experience for non-player character, sitting on the shelf right there, and official selection for TRIBECA Film Festival. It will be exhibited at the TRIBECA Film Festival from June 8th to June 19th on the 5th floor of Spring Studios, which is where the immersive content will be located. And I'm not at TRIBECA this particular year. Absolutely no live interactive experiences, like live responsive acting experiences or storytelling experiences were accepted this year. So none of my friends are really going. Everybody was at AWE, so I felt like that's where I should put my travel budget this go around. But I'm so delighted to get to enter this space. I cannot see my phone chat all the way over there, but I can see the chat on other places like what are all the other platforms? YouTube and Facebook, and is Yahoo still a thing? Find me on my MySpace. So I'm going to just put this on and show you what it's like to sideload an APK using SideQuest. So when I actually open up the headset, generally this is my like home environment, and then this is my apps are in front of me. Oops. Let me go back to all. Come on, trackers. So here's a bunch of different apps that I've downloaded and experiences that I've tried out. However, because I sideloaded this, it's in unknown sources. It gives me a very scary warning, as well as makes it look as uncompelling as possible. It doesn't give them the sexy thumbnail, but that's fine because I know what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to click on the VR Museum, and it's loading right up, which is pretty cool. Loading, waiting patiently. Don't hear any music yet, or any sound effects. And just like the Cans XR Alexandria platform, I will try some of these experiences if there are experiences, but I'm not going to show them in any sort of entirety or even consecutive runtime because I don't want to exhibit other people's work outside of what they agreed on. So they agreed to contain it in this museum, so I'm not going to stream it to the whole internet, but I might do like a 10-second clip. Oh, welcome to the LGBTQ plus VR Museum. Let's start with a tutorial. Teleport to the highlighted position by pushing the right thumbstick forward. I did it! Turn around by moving your head. Yep, that's a good one. Or pushing the right thumbstick sideways. And now we're going to jump. Excellent. This is the way you move around the space. Now teleport back. Oops. There we go. I've teleported back. Oh, cool. So now there's two different things in front of me. Oops. I've jumped up onto this device. Yeah, let's teleport right in front of it and look down. That's a chat. Hi, welcome. Thank you so much. You can press the subtitles button to turn on subtitles. That's so thoughtful. Let's keep those on for a while.
Hi, welcome to the LGBTQ Virtual Reality Museum. Thank you so much for being here. You can press the subtitles button to turn subtitles on and off. When you're ready, grab the rainbow object in front of you and put it into the middle of the portal.
Oh.
This will teleport you into the museum. Goodbye.
So put it in here. Thought I put it in the middle of... Nope, it went back. Okay. Sorry, I'm bad at it. Okay, so I'm supposed to take that. No, no, I knocked it over. Oh no. You know, for a guy who has a whole festival called Onboard, I'm pretty bad at onboarding. I'm gonna carefully pick this up. Now, I think they want me to place it in the center of the portal is what they said. So does that mean this? It's in the center of the room. No, it went back. I feel dumb. Let me hit this play button again.
Hi. Welcome to the LGBTQ
Oh, is that the portal?
Virtual reality.
Yeah, it's just the portal went away. Oh, lovely. Okay. Very cool. I can actually pick up these objects, which is very cool. So it's a 3D scan of iconic objects. So I hit play.
A karaoke bar in the middle of town with a heap of equipment bundled into a corner, a bouncy host and the volume up loud may not be for everyone, especially when the microphone is given out to anyone who asks, regardless of their talent, ability or social skills. But it was in these bars where I got to be myself. Songs gave me words, so I didn't need to find them.
Hey, Darren.
And the people who turned up to these shows gave me acceptance.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
Who I was and how I thought was different and
I'm inside the LGBTQ plus VR Museum.
And normally it goes unnoticed.
That's at TRIBECA.
Silent tributes to fond memories, to lost family members, to broken hearts, tributes to happier days or to brighter futures.
Cool.
On a karaoke stage, someone is usually telling their story and someone else is listening. And my story was one of love and authenticity. Pronouns could stay the same, the odd word could be amended.
I'm sorry. I know. You can't take me anywhere. Please don't take me to a museum. I'm gonna knock over all the artifacts. Great. But this environment is very well rendered. It's very nice. And I've been following Antonia's work for a long time and really love the space that has been created here, how much it's expanded. If you've checked out the Museum of Other Realities, can I pick you up sometime with my hands in my show, Darren? Yeah, you should come to a show of NPC. I definitely pick up the audience a couple of different ways in that show, which is cool. But what's cool about this, actually seeing early work that was being done for this specific venue is actually what inspired me to turn Jettison into a living museum at onboardxr.live, onboardxr.live, that you can actually go to anytime and just walk around a theater where we performed the play and have some artifacts about that play hanging out. So here's this teddy bear. Oh, this is such a good scan. Look at the fur. That's cool. So what they did is they 3D scanned all these objects for the museum, and that's very similar to what I did at the Museum of Science, where I actually 3D scanned the theater I was going to be performing inside of, and then turned that into a 3D model so that in the VR experience, we actually start in the physical space that we are actually in, and then we can go inside the screen of the theater. So it's kind of a little meta, but I was trying to put the audience in kind of a shared or understood virtual space or virtual twin, or what I really love that people are starting to call it virtual siblings, not virtual twins, because they're spaces that can share the essence of an environment or maybe some key identifying features, but we don't need to be confined by the same physics or the same restraints that we would in a normal physical space. Great. Come over here. Sharifa overalls and name sign. That's very cool. Look at the detail on that. I just love fabric in VR. Like, when we can really figure that out. There's some really cool stuff being done in VR chat with like bones for ears and tails and fur. And I just think fashion in VR and AR is going to get so cool. I mean, in real life, I don't know, Darren, I'm not that strong. I've not been at the gym. I've been doing this. So I probably shouldn't pick anybody up. I would hurt them. David, what are you saying? Great work. Congrats. Absolutely congrats to Antonia and the team. This is so beautiful. And if you're in New York, you should definitely support this being done at TRIBECA. And I'm just so grateful that I got to have a little sneak peek and walk around. What I don't know, here's a question I should have asked, is this a multiplayer experience? Could other people, if other people were at using the same build or something like that, could we actually like walk around this museum together, or is it a solo one-on-one experience? I imagine, because it's just like downloaded to my system and opened up like a Unity build, like a mobile app. I'm guessing that it's just a one-on-one experience, but it's pretty cool. Oh, this is Antonia's headset. Oh, that's very cool. That's very cool. So the chief kind of creator and visionary behind this project, Antonia Forester, who gave me this file to install and walk around in, this is their VR headset. And I love the stickers. The scan, what does that say? It's not rendering quite. Critical error. That sounds about right. How about this? And put on a headset in a headset. Just like the Cannes experience. You're about to hack time, are you sure? Yes or no? That's fantastic. Oh no!
I grew up in a household where
I'm so sorry, Antonia. I dropped your headset.
Digital spaces and games were my safe haven. Fantastic worlds where I could escape and also meet other people. like me. When I was able to come out as bi and polyamorous in my late 20s, I received aggressive backlash from some members of my family, including insults, threats, and blackmail. For my own safety, I cut contact with over half of my family, and we remain separated to this day. I took comfort in games and digital communities, especially virtual reality. I loved the idea of building my own worlds. So, using online resources, I taught myself to code and became a full-time VR developer. Virtual reality offers an opportunity to connect with others and to experiment with self-expression in a safe way, especially when your circumstances in the real world may not allow you to do that. I want to build magical worlds, but I also want to use this tech to change the real world for the better.
So cool. Yeah, from the creator themselves, hearing their voice, seeing an artifact from their lives, it's very powerful. It's really cool. And before I forget, happy Pride to everybody out there watching. This is such a great celebration of the community. A bowl of pronoun badges. Oh, can I pick them up individually? Oh, that would be so cool if you could pick up different badges and kind of like move your hands around them, right? Like a bowl of M&Ms. Not that I would do that to a group bowl of M&Ms. That's very gross, Brendan. I mean a personal bowl of M&Ms to kind of feel them flow. Bound with Unrivaled 2020, Berry Kiss. Very cool. Is this a dagger I see before me? Wow. It's so fascinating to be able to, like, this is so dumb, but it's so fascinating to be able to do this in real time. There's a moment in A Tale Told by an Idiot, the film, where I 3D animated using actor mocap data that we shot when we shot the live action film footage. So I basically shot with two cameras simultaneously. And there is a moment, because like my motion tracking data was like, bah, like just real cruddy. So on some motions, I cleaned it up, or I completely reanimated frame by frame. And the idea that in real time I could just record picking up this dagger is amazing, because I literally took a week to do this for the moment that it happens in the movie. So that's nuts. Sorry, that had nothing to do with that lovely artifact. I just was reminded. Oh, wow. What is this? I wish I could... My only feedback, my only user feedback is that I wish I could just teleport around, like locomote using the keys, because otherwise I have to kind of like figure out an angle that I can go back to then come forward again if I kind of overshoot it. A candlestick. That's cool. A marble statue. Oh, that's so lovely. They're cuddling. It's like a cuddle statue. That's so nice. This is so effective in VR spaces, the fact that we can see through the roof. I think I talked about this previously, I love when we put glass on the ceiling, and then you can put some leaves and objects on the ceiling, and some dust, just to kind of give it a sense of that the space is lived in. It's a great tree outside. We'll get there in a second. All right. Andy Thompson's book. Wow. Oh, wow. Cool. Again, we're still in just such early days from this. Like, I can totally see a future in 5 years where, like, I actually pick up this book and I can read it and flip through the pages in virtual reality. And it's the actual book, right? Like, that'll be so insane. I do feel the need to put things back the way I found them, and I feel bad when I can't. I feel like I broke the museum. But that's a Brendan thing that has nothing to do with the design of this museum. Oh, this torch. Does this light up? It wouldn't in a museum, Brendan. Like, you wouldn't be able to touch it. Oh. Nail polishes. Oh, that's That's something I hadn't considered. I wonder if there's a VR game where you can paint your hands. That would be cool. Like those paint programs. There's a lot of painting, a lot of sculpting. Church pulpit. Just capturing all these scans must have been an immense amount of work, and then cleaning them up and bringing them inside here. Like, this is so much work. I know that we just kind of gloss over this stuff now because everything looks fancy. And the other thing to remember is that, like, keep in mind, we're in a structure that was completely fabricated in 3D, right? And that's, we get these very clean edges and these very, like, smooth textures that they have full control over the baked lighting that's coming in to make it look like the sun is streaking across the floor. But, like, this is what an object in the real world looks like when we try to bring it into 3D. And this, you can just see the, like, time and care that someone took to really scan this and then to optimize it. It's just so cool. Their shoes. Oh my gosh, look at these. Look at these. Wow. Look at the scuff marks on them. Like, that's amazing. Right? Anyone who's into, like, antiquing, I definitely recommend take out your phone if you've got one of the newer, especially iOS phones, because they've got the LiDAR on them. But if you're into collecting things, download a 3D scan app and try this out, where you can scan something and it gets all this stunning, fun texturing and detail into it that kind of preserves it exactly where it is today, which is so, so cool. Again, seeing fabric in VR is really special. Really special. Yeah, look at all this texturing on the collar. That's so cool. Oh no. I hit my mouse that's next to me. I don't think it stopped streaming though. So I think you're still with me. Hello, if you're still with me, I'm in the LGBTQ VR Museum. Happy Pride to you, Darren. VR to change the world for the better. Absolutely, David. I won't read those comments. Thank you so much, Internet. Yeah, and hello, if you're just joining, I'm going around the LGBTQ plus VR Museum that Antonia Forester slipped me. She snuck me a APK build of it that I could just force into the headset so that I could walk around, because I'm not at TRIBECA, where this is currently being experienced in person. So, like, you could, if you were at the TRIBECA Immersive Festival, you could go, they could put you in a headset with it loaded up. Otherwise, you might be able, as part of TRIBECA, don't quote me on this, but you might be able to actually, let's see, hold on. I have talking points. During this period, the museum will also be available in the Oculus App Store via the TRIBECA website and through the Museum of Other Realities on Steam, which, if you have not checked out, the Museum of Other Realities, very cool space that host experiences like this on kind of like a rotating curation. So they kind of have the core skeleton and venue and an audience that feeds into it, and then they're just constantly hosting different work, which is very, very cool, and is accessible on Steam. I've tried that out. Just so cool what everybody's doing, and it all kind of scaffolds and builds off of each other. A lot of what we're doing with Onboard XR is basically the live performance curation side of that, where we let anybody use our VR tools and our VR platform and our VR server and our VR world and theater to be able to stand up their own work, so that in some ways we're able to host anybody anywhere in the world with no coding, no download, no special equipment, to be able to just create, sort of like this, but this involved a lot more time and talent and hard work from someone who understood how to build out a Unity project. I'm going to come around this corner, but I really want to go to this courtyard. Oh, there's a hidden artifact back here. See? I would have missed out on the headdress and staff. And that's so cool, right? Like, in real life, you wouldn't go to, like, a levitating staff from... I wish there were years on this. How long ago was this? Like, how old is this? But that's so cool. Like, this is extraordinary. And again, just so cool to see. This is what 3D scanning an object like this picks up. Put that back. Oh, no, no, no. This is VR, y'all. Like, this is what's so cool about VR is I sat here and I held an object that I gave reverence to, that I felt I knew the history, I felt the gravitas of it, and then when I put it back wrong and it fell over, my heart skipped a beat because I felt like I had just broken this priceless artifact. It's terrifying. I feel like a bull in a china shop, which, by the way, would be... It's something I wanted for non-player character, but the physics inside of WebXR don't... The WebXR we're using don't quite work that way yet, but I definitely wanted to let the audience just like rage out and break everything. I feel like that would be very fun in a very different context. And then a headscarf. And this is where you can see kind of the difference, right? Like we saw some really cool scans of fabric, but then how it interprets feathers is so different as well, because it's trying to treat everything as a singular mesh. All right, I want to put this back more carefully. Amazing. Cool. And now to the courtyard. Jump, jump. It's a fun tree. Reminds me of the, there's a great tree in Welcome to Respite, the play I did in VR chat. Oh, I can exit. Okay, so I've come to the end. Well, let's go over towards the acknowledgements here, make sure everybody gets credit. The director, Antonia Forester, thank you so much for letting me walk around in here. This is so cool. Incredible to the developers. The 3D modeling, so cool. Thank you to all the artists and storytellers that contributed. And if you'd like to contribute to future iterations of the museum, get in touch at lgbtq.vr.museum@gmail. So, if anybody out there wants to, I mean, I'm sure they would love money, but if you want to give other things, or even help curate possibly, if you happen to have access to a bunch of LGBTQ plus artifacts. But yeah, happy Pride, everybody. Thanks for walking around this museum with me. I'm going to see what exiting does. Take one last look at this tree and see the journey that we went on around this museum. I love that statue. That is so cool. And especially so fun to play with scale. Like, this is what VR does best, right? Like, there were objects I was holding in my hands, and then there was a giant slab of marble in front of me that I had to physically walk around. Just so cool. Actually, you know what I didn't see? This might be disrespectful, but I will never be in a museum where I would be allowed to do this. Am I allowed to stand on this slab? No. That's fair. I just wanted to see if I could get a different vantage point. Like, how cool would it be? You never get to, like, look down on something in a museum. Can I stand on this? No. Cool. All right, well. Had to know. And I can't walk through the window. I guess that makes sense. Do you like how I was, like, really good and respectful the whole time, and then I turned into a child for the last 5 seconds? I was like, I want to stand on the statue. Okay. Now we're going to exit. Thanks for coming. Please take off the VR headset. Oh, okay, so then when they're doing it at the installation level, this allows people to leave. Whoa. And we're back. And this kind of... Oh, and then this resets. So then the next person who uses it can do the onboarding. Pretty neat. Very well thought out. Just experience design so lovely. So clever. Just really thoughtful. A fun space to be inside of. Really incredible scanning of those objects. Again, if you're at the TRIBECA Immersive Festival, check out the LGBTQ plus VR Museum. Happy Pride, everybody. And just to give you an example of what I was talking about, of using spaces like this, kind of living lobbies or living museums, what I think can be so cool, I might get into trouble right now. If I exit out of this, you can do it. Quit. And if I just open up the browser, and if you at home watching wanted to, this could get real bad. If you go to Onboard XR, so that's ONBOARD XR.LIVE, and it's going to take a minute right now because the server has to spin up, because I don't pay for the server when I'm not using it, because I'm cheap like that. So it's going to take a few seconds to spin up, but I basically have my own templated space that is kind of a generic playhouse or theater that you can swap out the interior. There's a little bit of a museum-esque, gallery-esque lobby, and anybody can use this theater. Think of it like a website template that you can use this to, oh no, I'm a bird. I'm this avatar from the show we're currently working on. So don't mind my wings, my giant wings. But you can see that you spawn outside of this lobby, and you then can walk into this theater using your arrow keys on desktop. So if you're on your desktop computer, you just use the arrow keys or AWSD to walk around. And, ooh, I can be sneaky. If I come back here, oh no! I took them away. I have a whole thing on changing into avatars, and usually on the back of these display boards is is little avatars you can click on. But I took them away because I'm awesome. But basically walking around in here, you get a sense of, here's our cast. Yay! And back here is information about how we used code injection to be able to program cues. And then you can see some lighting that we used and the set that we used with some real water and a little rocking boat. You can see the rabbit prop that we used in the show. And you can see I need to come in. I haven't been in here in a minute. I gotta fix this up. And then you can walk around inside. And it's this little black box space, so you could sit in the middle and perform. And if anyone joined me at onboardxr.live, I'd be able to see you as a little avatar, and you'd see me in the middle of this space, and I'd be able to perform to you. Or you could get up and perform, and I could sit down by holding down spacebar and teleporting into a chair. And then I'll give you a quick backstage tour as well. It's so weird being this avatar that's not meant for this space. I feel giant. But this little backstage area that either you could take someone back for a little meeting or rehearsal, or you could wait in the wings, as it were. And then there's the stage door for after the show to come out and say hello to everybody. So, of course, we have a stage door up there, and then it cycles around back towards the front. But this is an example of, if you're curious about the space that I just walked through and you want to check it out for yourself, you want to make your own, this is all free and open. I built this with the intention for people to use it. So you go to onboardxr.live and walk around this space. And if you want, ask me questions or contact me, and maybe I'll slip you more resources and more information on it. With that, I'll check the chat one more time, but otherwise I've been in headset for a minute, and I'm just so happy to have gotten to check out the LGBTQ+ VR Museum, and hope you will too. So, awesome. Cool. I'm gonna stop streaming here.